Good afternoon and welcome to Paul T's World. It's a gorgeous day, 11 degrees centigrade. It's the fourth week of November, no frosts as yet, so let's just have a look at what's happening in my garden. In fact, while I'm doing this introduction to the video, the robin, as per usual, has come to visit, and let's just have a look if we can see him. And there he is. He's always checking to see if there's anything of interest and what's happening in the videos. Now, here is a hydrangea. I think it's a lace cap hydrangea, and I've planted it here because just look at the autumn leaves, the colour of these leaves. And I took this as a cutting last year from a neighbour. So I'm hoping that that's going to grow nice and large here and produce lovely flowers in the summer, of course, but these gorgeous leaves. Just look at that. Usually hydrangeas don't produce red leaves, but they are starting to introduce some new varieties that do. These are two more cuttings from last year. This one, of course, is a lace cap hydrangea. And this one is a mop head. Lovely. So this border here is going to look brilliant this coming year. All ericaceous plants, including the rhododendron here, which, as I showed on another video, look at all these nice buds ready. And next to the azalea and hydrangea bed, these are the cuttings that I took last year. Actually, not only cuttings, but there are some young plants that have self-seeded, or indeed they have been created by runners. So let's just have a look at the kind of plants I've got here for free that I've gathered around the garden this last summer. So what have we got? First of all, we've got this persicaria here, red dragon. This senza, no, I did this from a cutting. I just took cuttings, put them in water for a couple of weeks till they got roots, and then just put them in a pot. Now, what else have we got here? What are you going to show us, Robin? What are we going to see? Oh, now look at this. Now this is a Philadelphia. And I did this, I need to clean out the pot actually. I did this from a hardwood cutting last winter. Let's just see, yeah, it's got plenty of roots. I've kept potting it up. So that's a Philadelphia. Oh, and another one. Oh, there's a weed in here. I don't like this weed. And from hardwood cuttings, apart from the Philadelphus, did I say Philadelphia? Philadelphus. Oh, here's another one. Is it? Yes, that's a Philadelphus Belle Étoile. And I've also got here, gosh, just look at the weeds in here. I have to get these weeds out before Christmas. Now, this is the Deutzia, or Deutzia, however you want to pronounce it. Again, from a hardwood cutting last winter. I was really pleased with the hardwood cuttings I did last year, the first time I've ever done it. And hardwood cuttings are done in the winter. They're no maintenance at all. In fact, I'll do a video on hardwood cuttings, probably in the late winter. They take a long time to take because it's obviously cold. I leave them outside, you don't bring them inside. A lot of them failed, but as you can see, there are a few successes. Brilliant. Let's see what else we've got. This is another Persicaria. This is Purple Fantasy, and I took a cutting from this one just a few months ago. This is a flamingo fuchsia, a hardy fuchsia, and this was self-seeded, and I dug that up and have potted it up. What else have we got? We have got, oh, here we are. I'll just go round the other side. Look at this. This is a foxglove, and it's growing in this pot that I've done of Euphorbia robbii. Now these actually send up runners, and I've potted some of the runners up. I think it's a little bit too vigorous on the runners, and I have pulled a number out, and just look at all the roots. So I'll see how I go with those. And here we've got Lychnis. These were self-seeded, rose campion, about the place, and I've potted some up. Some are white and some are red. I've got a few of those. Oh, and I've got euchera. And this was earlier this year. I just split these euchera and put them in pots. And there's a Euphorbia mellifera that someone gave me, and that's doing well. I've planted one in the garden, and I've got that in a big pot. Not quite sure what I'm going to do with that. So let's just walk past the leeks. Leeks are a great crop because they just grow. You leave them in until you want them. So they'll sit there over the winter and you just take them out as you like. No trouble at all. So let's see what we've got here. These are dahlias. Now I split some dahlias last year. First time I've done it really, because I leave the dahlias in the ground. But I decided to split some because they were getting a little bit too congested. Oh, there's a little canna here that I've left in this pot over the summer. Here are the peonies. There were some peonies behind a shrub, a large shrub in the front garden. They weren't flowering, they didn't get any light, so I've dug them up and put them there. Here are some more cuttings, hydrangea cuttings, growing well. Little mophead, a paniculata. Oh, all sorts really. Oh, and this one's fallen over. This one's turning a nice deep red. And that one is, oh, that's a mophead as well. They're doing well. So I'll have to decide what I'm going to do with those next year. And here we've got some more clematis cuttings. Oh, I did so many of these clematis cuttings. And I've planted some in the garden. I've given some away. Oh yes, they're all clematises. And these are the vigorous montanas. Fabulous. Oh, and just here, these are the geraniums. Suzanne, is it Suzanne? Roseanne. And you can just split these whenever, and that's what I've done there. Just pop those in a pot and those will go in the garden later. This is interesting. I like this area here. What we've got is a Viburnum tinus, and you can see how large it grows. And a couple of years ago, it was growing right round here, and I didn't have room to put the bins or anything. So what I did was I cut it right back, and it was all bare here. And now you can see it's put out leaves and it's formed a nice little covering of leaves there. And I left it up here. I cut it back a little bit here to encourage it to come forward. Now, whenever you cut something vigorous back, you prune it back, it will grow where you pruned it. So if you want something to grow out in a certain direction, prune it a little bit in that direction, it will follow the pruning back out and encourage it to grow. And that's what I did here. So what I wanted it to do was form an arch, so I could walk round the house through the arch. And that's what it's done. Just 2 years later, I've got my arch. So the arch goes along here and meets up with the Bill Mackenzie clematis. Those lovely seed heads. Aren't they gorgeous? It flowered really late this year, and so the seed heads are still here. And as you can see with this viburnum, it's starting to flower. These viburnum flower in the winter. Pretty, oh, I love that, the way the clematis is growing over and through the shrub. Lovely, and there's some seed heads right up there, gorgeous. No frost yet in the northwest of England by the coast. And so the Brugmansia is still flowering and still producing scent in the afternoon. This Charles Grimaldi has produced and produced right the way through the season. So I haven't put it in the garage yet because it's not cold enough. Here we have the lace cap hydrangea. Let's see what else we've got here. Now here are the hellebores. These are virtually growing wild. They self-seed. You can see smaller ones down there that self-seeded last year. And here we have heucheras. These need splitting and sorting out in the spring. And back here we have, let's see if I can just get back here and let's see what's happening through the magnolia. Whoops. Now here we have the snowdrops. Let's see if there's any snowdrops coming up yet. Oh, there we are. There's the snowdrops getting ready. There we are. If you can just see them there. There are dozens and dozens of snowdrops here. There we are. Oh, that looks like a squirrel or something has pulled that one out. So there's lots of snowdrops all along here. And I leave this quite wild at the back here, behind the lilac, the white lilac and the laburnum tree. Now I said in another video that the dahlias will flower right through to the first frosts. But the frost is taking so long to arrive, and it's looking like it's going to be December, which in actual fact is the average time we get a first frost here on the coast. But they've conked out. They've had it, and so they're not flowering anymore. And what I've done with these dahlias is I've put these supports here. I like this support. Now it's not supported this really tall one too well, but I'll put some more supports like that in next year. But what I did do actually this year, here's what I've seen the professionals do. This is actually twigs, pea sticks we kind of call them. So this is, let's see if I'll just pull it out. Let's just see what I did. Where are we? Here we are. So if I pull this out, there we are. So I just literally put this stick in early in the year. That one, and I've got another one here. There we are. So I put these two sticks in and then folded them together like this to form a little arch. And that has held these dahlias up quite well. Here's another one. And yes, there we are. It's just come off now. But I just folded these together like that, intertwined them. And you don't see them, and it looks natural. And if they're a bit too tall, you can just cut bits off them. So I like that. I'm going to do that more in the future. And behind here, we've got the Mahonia. Now, the Mahonia will flower its yellow flowers in the winter. There we are. It's just starting now. Nice to have something come out in flower in the winter. And in the glorious afternoon November sunshine, we have the canna musifolia. I've featured this a few times over the year. Now, many people say it won't flower in the British summer, but as you've seen, it's flowered reasonably well actually this summer. It was a hot summer though. So it's still there. It's in a pot, it's in quite a big pot. So let's just have a look at the pot it's in. There's still flowers here on this. These are flowered all summer on the geraniums. Well, we call them geraniums. What's the other name for them? Polygon something. And here is the container that I've used. I actually got it cheap at a garden centre. I got it for £5, reduced from £35. And it's held up this musifolia all summer. I hope you've enjoyed the walk around my English garden in late November. If you have, give it a like, it helps my channel. And I'll see you next time in Paul T's World. Bye.